G'day YouTube, how the heck are we doing? It is Foul Play here and we're back again for another Pioneer match. Alright, so we get this 7 after winning the die roll. This 7 in my opinion is a bit too risky. I think we need like 2 creatures or a Skrelv to protect Light Paws in the blind. I think we can probably do better, although the mana and auras are fantastic. It has a wonderful curve. This is better, so we can get rid of mana confluence and then be pretty happy with the rest of it. Just playing out our Skrelv, passing to our opponent. Alright, there's a Plains into Recruitment Officers, so mono white humans again. At least we got the protection here for our Light Paws. Warbler's Blessing, pardon me, I'm butchering that. Not a bad find. It does give us a fight effect. And we can also find a 2 mana aura off it as well. Okay, opponent with Thalia. That's going to slow us down a little bit. Hitting a land would be really good right now. That's not a land source, unfortunately. So I think we can leverage plenty here. Let's cartouche. We'll get our token, trigger on the Light Paws. I think we just get an Ethereal Armor so we can double Ethereal Armor and kill next turn on the guaranteed. So attack with Light Paws. I guess it's not quite guaranteed. We need to make... Yeah, it's not quite a kill. Don't mind me. Opponent blocking with Thalia, meaning they probably have multiple copies of her. Even if our opponent does have a second copy here, okay, Extraction Specialist makes sense. But if it was just a second copy of Thalia, I don't think it's worth the tempo loss of tapping an extra 2 mana when you're like battling what this is. We find all that glitters off the top. We can basically just play Ethereal Armor. So go and do that one. Trigger. Trample and flying's about equal. We've got flying in hand already. Let's get flying because it just guarantees that extra point of damage. Attack for 12. And if our opponent can't deal with Light Paws, she will kill next turn. There it is, our opponent concedes the match. Alright, so here's a mono white human deck by Takumi in the Pro Tour. You can see main deck interaction of Hopeful Initiative. Our opponent, however, had a little bit of a different list because they had that main deck 3-drop that returns stuff from the graveyard. Anyway, you can see interaction of Hopeful Initiative, Ossification, and Portable Hole. Plus Brutal Cathar as well. Brutal Cathar can be a bit savage, but at least it does get shut down by Hushbringer, which is our sideboard tech. Alright, so this is how I sideboarded last game. I definitely think Hushbringer and Warbler's Blessing are definite inclusions you want. Portable Hole is like a maybe to me, but they do have that Hopeful Initiate, pardon me, which can be problematic dealing with our enchantments, so we should have Portable Hole for that, or to answer our opponent's Portable Holes. We'll look to take out 3 All That Glitters, because having these 2 mana auras with a Thalia on the battlefield, not hugely ideal. Then we'll take out 1 Light Paws, 1 SRAM, because we are bringing in 2 creatures and also a Gristmoon. Reminder, if you find this video entertaining or informative, please consider subscribing. Opponent keeping a 7-card hand. This hand is just way too mana heavy and aura light, so we're going to get rid of it. This one looks a lot better. We'll keep probably a pretty safe ditch on Kai's Ghost Form. And we'll lead on mana confluence even though we take 1 extra damage, so we can get that double white happening. Our opponent with Kethleon. Razor Verge Thicket off the top. Never mind, scratch that plan. Happy to play out the Scout. Alright, so Mutavault plus Thalia is annoying. But I guess we'll just deal with it. Kithian attacking, sure, we'll take the damage. We find SRAM off top. And I think SRAM is the play. I was gonna like Cartouche Solidarity. That just isn't the most mana efficient thing. If we SRAM this turn, we can Generous Visitor plus 1 aura next turn, and that seems reasonable. It puts pressure on our opponent to deal with the SRAM too, which might be difficult for them. Alright, speaking of difficult, it is not Ossification, exiling that SRAM. It's alright. It takes up our opponent's entire turn. We do take 4 points of damage. We have a better turn this turn. Razor Edge Thicket off the top, so we can continue dodging damage. And if we Sentinel's Eyes here, it's probably the best, because we get a 3/3 Vigilance at that point, and we can guarantee the block on Kythian. Unless they have that Adrenaline Cathar, which creates that attacking creature, and then this would flip at the end of combat, but I think we're still fine then. Lauren of Third Path, Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment for 3 mana. You and target opponent draw a card. This seems wacky. We get that back from the grave potentially in the future as well, so it's not the end of the world. No blocks from us just yet. I'll take 1 more lot of damage. Then we have to start worrying about our life total after that. Another mana source off the top, not ideal. At least we get our first strike down, continue growing. Unfortunately here, we're probably on the defensive because we've lost our vigilance and we can't get it back from the graveyard just yet. Portable Hole from our opponent, classic stuff. Probably taking out Generous Visitor, I would assume. I think it's a mistake if they take out Cartouche. But hey, we'll take that. Luminarch Aspirant, so they get to grow on one of their creatures. At least that happens before blockers. So nothing too tricky. Thalia gets beefed up. An opponent just attacking with the Thalia. If we block with Generous Visitor, we're still like 1 creature away from getting our Vigilance. Back from the grave. I don't think I've got anything that just automatically puts a card in the grave during our turn either. So I think we just chill for a second. Keep this on the battlefield, keep its trigger around. Portable Hole of our own. Well, getting Thalia off the battlefield would be a rather nice thing. Is that more important than getting Portable Hole off the battlefield though? 0 cards in hand for our opponent. They have got 2 Mutavaults to start attacking with. It's pretty terrifying, really. I think we just Portable Hole, get rid of Thalia. So that first strike's really annoying. And if we get the Cartouche back, we don't get a trigger from it either, making that a bit of a weak line. Now we probably want to be a little bit aggressive and put Gigantha in hand if we can afford it. So our opponent has like a guaranteed 5 damage on the battlefield. So I definitely think this is the point where we go, yep, Gigantha, get into our hand, and just pass without any attacks. Although it's possible that we can attack with Glade Cover Scout there. Ossification's any creature though. So frustrating. What happened there? Our opponent made both of us draw a card in the end step, so we got a Sentinel's Eyes off our opponent's Lauren of Third Path. Cards we don't want to see are Thalia's Lieutenant. Opponent's buffing up these Mutavaults, so maybe we dodge out on that. We'll have to see. Alright, opponent looking to grow Kythian here, and I think that's reasonably smart. When this flips, target creature gains indestructible up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Has to attack this next turn. Attacking like this. So if we block here, oops, sorry, still in attacking phase. We block here, jump here, we take 4. Then maybe we want to keep Generous Visitor around. That's 5 damage and Mana Confluence is switched off, but then we got 2 Sentinel's Eyes and 2 Generous Visitor triggers. Going to 1 could be rough. I think going to 1 is just a little bit too low though. We could also just trade off the Scout with the Kythian. This here, reset with Gigantha. That could be a good line, right? So if we just assume our opponent's out of removal, this will leave them with Mutavault. We'll go to 2, we'll get Gigantha, and we might even be able to put a Sentinel's Eyes on the Gigantha. If not, we can wait a turn and do that. And then we're only losing to Ossification and Brutal Cathar, I think. Opponent, we both draw cards. We find a Skrelv. That's an okay draw. Alright, opponent with recruitment officer. Oh gosh darn it, that's so frustrating. It's really annoying that they hit a creature that they could play there, because now unfortunately we just die to this recruitment officer at white. I guess we died to a Mutavault either way, right? Alright, well let's go ahead and concede that one. Alright, so I don't see any huge need for extraction specialist. I think maybe let's bring in a Boseiju instead of a portable hole. Let's try that, because it might be slightly more important to deal with ossification, especially on the draw. I guess either deal with ossification. Anyway, we are at no lander here. Mulligan that, no creature. Well, we got one creature, but it's not a good one. I think it's definitely a mull. Opponent mulled to 6 as well. This one's definitely a keep. Opponent keeping their 6. We got a bottom 2. I think there's a chance that the scout gets there with double aura. Or we could bottom a land and have slightly slower auras. That's bad into Thalia. It's a tough mulligan decision. Alright, let's ditch the light pause, but there's definitely a world where that is incorrect. Alright, recruitment officer, so no hopeful initiative just yet. We find another ethereal armor off the top. Beautiful, I love it. Going on here. Alright, throw down, attack for 4. We'll play the warrior token just so we can block this thing out for free. Alright, an opponent with portable hull here. Taking away ethereal armor, I mean, I think that's fine. We've got one more in hand. As long as they don't follow this up with another portable hull, should be in an okay spot. I guess portable hull's slightly better than Boseiju, so maybe that was a mistake, but hey look, no attacks from our opponent either. I'll definitely attack in. If they want to trade this off with the warrior token, we'll let them. I think that's not hugely likely. Alright, no blocks from our opponent. They're down to 9. Our creature's nice and menacing still. Ah, another Lauren of third path, so they're going to get to destroy the other ethereal armor now. Alright, well, we're going to need some help off the top now. Because this turn's under control, but next turn they're probably going to just run away with it a little bit. Rune of Sustenance is good, it replaces itself, it gives lifelink, it's a great start. Hey look, another Sentinel's Eyes off the top as well. Not too bad. We can attack with Scout because she does have first strike, so that's fine. Attack with both creatures. This warrior's just been chipping in like a trooper, right? This will be its 3rd point of damage it gets. Alright, well it looks like our opponent wants the warrior token off the table, so we'll take that. Controlling our opponent's board is reasonable. It's only bad if they have another Lauren, which ETB destroys an enchantment, and then we could be in a dicey spot. Alright, Thalia is okay, because we've got enough power, we've also got the first strike, we'll be okay. Ganjo, legend rolling their own Ganjo, Thalia's lieutenant, giving that buff. That's a bit annoying, but still, we've got the aura in hand to get past that first strike. Scroll off the top, so how does that change anything? It's not hugely. So we'll have a 4/4, first strike damage will bounce off, we'll still have 2 damage here. It's fine, let's just double down, keep attacking. Really threaten our opponent's board. If our opponent jump blocks with the Thalia's lieutenant as well, I think that's fine for us. Alright, no blocks from the opponent, going all the way down to 2. We're at 27, which is fairly healthy thanks to our rune. Alright, an opponent just passing back, and it would be a little bit dicey because of that Mutavault, but we find Cartouche. How's that change things, having a 5 power creature? 2, 2, 1. I mean, we're still just good, right? Or maybe we should gamble on Skrelv and just guarantee the non-block next turn. I don't think we can choose colorless with Skrelv though, so they will have a Mutavault block at that point. So we should just be able to attack like this 12-second main. Kill, kill, 3 damage. Yeah. Alright, opponent animates Mutavault, and we're just like fading any instant speed interaction. If they block with this Mutavault, that's perfect because that plays into us next turn. Alright, opponent throwing all creatures in front. So we have to make sure we deal damage in this order: Thalia, then Recruitment Officer, then the other 2. This trades very favorably for us. We take those 3 points of damage. Scout goes ahead and lives. Wait, what? What happened there? Oh, because Thalia dealt damage pre-combat. My mistake. Okay. I forgot about the Thalia damage. Alright, well, we'll cartouche and we'll rebuild here. It's not ideal, but we'll see if we can make do with that. Opponent down to 1 card in hand. Ossification. Oh, that's so annoying, man. We have got a Vigilance Warrior token to go forth with. 2 Sentinel's Eyes in the graveyards. Recruitment Officer as well. Man, just stop drawing stuff, please. Just for a turn. I mean, I know we've drawn 0 lands, but still. The first strike aura would be perfect. It's a generous visitor, though. I mean, that's pretty good, too. Sentinel's Eyes on the warrior on the creature token there. Exile, trigger. No attacks just yet. We can give both our creatures vigilance and get like a 2 creature board happening shortly. We can't attack this turn, unfortunately. Oof. Alright, well, that's a big boy going with Thalia. And Thalia's Lieutenant is going to attack in. We're on 31, so no pressure to block. There's this little monk token. We can block the monk token. That just helps keep Adeline's power in check, right? Mana Confluence, a bit of a dead draw, unfortunately. So we'll Sentinel's Eyes. I think we just make 1 big creature for now. So if we attack with this, opponent would trade off both of them. We'd be able to get 1 Sentinel's Eyes back from the graveyard, have a 3/3. We're still dealing with a 4/4, which is not ideal. Maybe I should have made this a 4/4 and then this a 2/2. I don't think we can attack right now. I'm just going to hope our opponent actually bricks for a turn because there's been very little bricking currently. We have to remember as well, opponent can grow the power of a Deline with Mutavault at instant speed. So just keep that in mind. Don't do like a loose block here. ETB, Thalia's Lieutenant grows from the monk entering. How frustrating is that? This could walk into a Ganjo, but opponent's already legend ruled 1, so I don't think they have that many copies. The list I'm looking at online only has 2 copies. Opponent plays a Plains, so they actually bricked, thank goodness. Can we hit something? Yep. Yeah, that's definitely something. We'll take that. Alright, we'll start growing the Generous Visitor off the other side as well. Alright, well that's definitely a good start. Smack on in. So at this point we're dodging removal. I think most other things are fine. Is our opponent actually blocking with the Mutavault here? Right. That like walks into Skrelv. I think that's inaccurate. What are we doing? Okay, activation on that one. Oh, wow, what a freaking hit, man. Hopeful Initiate? Are you kidding me? That's freaking terrible for us. Alright, well that one's going to enter. This one's going to grow. All I can say is hopefully the actual draw was a brick, and it looks like it might be. They could get us with a Thalia's Lieutenant post-combat, maybe? No, that doesn't make sense because we have the first strike. So attacks, triggers. What do we lose out here on the block? I don't think we do. I think this is fine. Oh, so active, destroy the enchantment? Wait, what? I didn't even see a counter go on this thing. When did the counter go on this thing? Oh, from among creatures you control? You're kidding me, man. That's such a dumb ability. Okay, well, I definitely misread that one. Apologies. How ridiculous. That's so damn strong. Alright, well, it looks like Gigantha is going to be called upon shortly, so let's go ahead and get Gigantha into hand. No attacks to be had here. Alright, opponent bricks and hits a plains. So that's something. Attacks, gets the token, gets him for 3 damage wide. Not too bad. So here, as long as we hit a land or an aura, we're in an okay spot. If we hit a creature, that's probably the worst hit. Recruitment officer active. Opponent finding Luminarch aspirant. Cannot play that one this turn. That's going to be frustrating next turn, creating a giant threat. Of course, we draw light pause because, you know, of course we draw light pause. All right. We can actually force the attack here, I think, because then we can get the protection effect for light pause. So I think we can attack here, actually. We might actually force the recruitment officer off the battlefield, which would be nice. Yeah, so remember our opponent's at 2, so they are forced into that block. Beautiful. Well, that's a pretty good one to get rid of. Opponent with Thalia, and that's okay. We don't mind that. As Luminarch aspirant, 1 in hand still. Trigger. It has to be a creature because they haven't made a land drop this turn. Unless they're doing the land drop second main. No attacks from our opponent, and we hit the mana confluence. Oh boy, gee. Not like this, buddy. Gigantha down on the battlefield. We're going to attack with Generous Visitor. It just gets blocked up by Delene, so let's not do that. Alright, so our opponent plays a plains. Luminarch aspirant. Trigger. Buffing that guy up. Do you want to attack, opponent? If you do, we'll get some flying and kill you. Oh, come on, deck. What the hell is this rubbish? I guess we play that one out tapped in case we draw a 2-mana aura. But really, we just want to get any aura cast, get the flying, finish our opponent off. This is pretty frustrating at the minute. I think attacking with Generous Visitor is loose, but maybe it's a risk we should be taking. Because then we only get 1 Sentinel's Eyes from the graveyard. Our opponent is diversifying, going in on Thalia there with the aspirant trigger. And another land drop from them, another dead draw. Oh my god. Speaking of dead draws, am I right? Alright, well, let's Generous Visitor. We'll wait off on the Sentinel's Eyes until our turn, though, because I don't want to get blown out by a sorcery speed removal effect, such as Portable Hole or Ossification. Our opponent bites, blocks with the Delene. Alright. We'll play out our Scout, and again, waiting on Sentinel's Eyes. Or maybe we Sentinel's Eyes, get Griffspoon, and then we can play Griffspoon on Light Pause, or like on Scout no matter what. I think that's fine. Alright, let's rely on that one of Griffspoon, right? Alright, Griffspoon is ready for next turn. It's possible I should have risked that several turns ago. I think I was playing too cautious. So this turn we could have actually have killed our opponent if we'd done that a turn earlier instead of being patient. So hopefully we don't get blown out and killed this turn. Ossification. Well, we can beat one ossification. We can even beat two ossifications. Oh, wow. Going after light pause. Okay, well, Griffspoon's in the graveyard, and that's going to be a pretty free win. All right, Luminarch Aspirant growing a Deline again. Attacking in. Well, that's not going to be lethal, so I think we're actually good here. Blocks there, 8. I don't see anywhere anyway this grows 5 power, so this should be okay. Down to 5. And still plenty of life to pay for Griffspoon. Scout off the top. All right, so now all we need to do and we'll attack on in. Oh no, what's our opponent got? Please, for the love of God, no. Oh, what? Oh, come on, man. I missed that again. That's twice this thing's got me this game. Oh, God. Not like this. So does that mean we're dead next turn? Jesus Christ, this is a powerful combination of creatures. If we block here, take 2. So our opponent can force 3 damage as long as the aspirant trigger goes on the right creature. And we should be dead. Alright, well, that was a good game to lose, I think. I think that was thoroughly entertaining and it shows you the strength of what our opponent can do. Yep, so opponent grows Luminarch Aspirant and that's going to be GG. It's unfortunate. If one of these mana confluence was different, or if we'd like sequenced all of this slightly differently, we could have got there, but just didn't quite get there. Oh wow, this gets grown as well. This deck's frustrating, man. This deck is very frustrating. All right, GG to our opponent. I think they played their deck better than we played ours. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. Let me know if there was a winning line that I missed in one of the earlier turns. I think there may have been. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, have a wonderful day. I'll see you then.